Let's go.
As close to space operatic perfection as humanly possible, can anybody pick a better film, let alone sequel, over The Empire Strikes Back? Don't even try. We will, however, try out these 13 things on you. Sorry, Master Yoda, there is no try. The shots where Luke uses his Jedi powers to retrieve his lightsaber from a distance were achieved by having Mark Hamill throw the lightsaber away, and then running the film in reverse.
Number 12. In order to avoid sharing creative rights, George Lucas decided to avoid using a major studio to finance this movie. Instead, he bankrolled the $18 million production himself, using a combination of his profits from Episode 4, A New Hope, and a bank loan. Although the movie was risky, it paid off several times over. Lucas recovered his investment within 3 months of the movie's release. He then showed gratitude far beyond the Hollywood norm by sharing the profits with his employees, around $5 million in bonuses.
Number 11. Mark Hamill had to bang his head 16 times on the ceiling of Yoda's hut before director Irvin Kershner was satisfied.
Number 10. George Lucas was so impressed by Frank Oz's performance as Yoda that he spent thousands of dollars on an advertising campaign to try and get him an Oscar nomination for Best Actor in a Supporting Role. Lucas's campaign ultimately failed because it was felt that a puppeteer wasn't an actor. Lucas felt this wasn't fair to Oz, who didn't care.
Number 9. Carrie Fisher stood on a box for many of her scenes with Harrison Ford in order to make up for the height difference and have her appear in the frame with him. Carrie Fisher is 5'1", and she's a foot shorter than Harrison, who is at 6'1".
Number 8. When Mark Hamill was having trouble with the Dagobah scenes with Yoda, Frank Oz brought in Miss Piggy to make him laugh.
Number 7. Having Han Solo frozen in carbonite was, at least in part, due to the fact that they were not sure that Harrison Ford would return for a third movie. When Episode 4, A New Hope was made, Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill were signed for a 3-movie deal, but Harrison Ford refused. Ford even requested George Lucas to kill off Solo, since the character had played his part already, but Lucas refused, saying that he had still a heroic part for Han Solo to play in Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Number 6. Originally in the asteroid scene, one of the asteroids was actually a shoe. The rumor is that George Lucas had asked the visual effects people to redo the scene so many times that they got annoyed and one of them threw his or her shoe. Later remastered versions have corrected this. Another of the asteroids is actually a potato.
Number 5. The scenes where R2-D2 is submerged in the mud pool were shot in George Lucas's unfinished swimming pool. Most of the crew were hidden under the water, and the entire sequence was shot by George Lucas himself.
Number 4. During principal photography, it remained unclear if Sir Alec Guinness would return as Obi-Wan Kenobi, as he had just had an eye operation at the time. He finally did agree and worked just one day on the movie, September 5th, 1979. He arrived at 8:30 a.m. and completed his scenes by 1 p.m., for which he was paid 0.25 of a percentage point of the movie's gross, which was worth millions upon millions of dollars.
Number 3. An oft-quoted myth is that the Wampa attack on Luke was devised to explain the actual scars on Mark Hamill's face, because he had been involved in a car crash and had to have reconstructive surgery. Hamill did indeed survive a serious car crash in January of 1977, but did not have any visible scars by the time this movie began filming over 2 years later.
Number 2. This may be pure speculation, but some believe Empire is so good because Jar Jar Binks is not in the film.
Number 1. Jason Wingreen was the uncredited voice of Boba Fett, a fact not confirmed until 2000. Wingreen had originally auditioned to voice Yoda. In a 2010 interview, Wingreen noted his lines were completed in only 10 minutes. However, Wingreen complained that he never received residuals for the role, even though audio of his voice was used for talking Boba Fett toys and collectibles. As a result, Wingreen noted that he had no love for George Lucas. And those are the 13 things that you probably didn't know about The Empire Strikes Back. All right. That's it. That's all we got.
Thank you for listening.
Is there anything else you wanted to add about that movie?
No.
Salacious Crumb, is that his name?
That was Return of the Jedi.
I know. But we'll get to those ones next time.
Faux show.
Faux shizzle.